People, Deluded, I'm back again. Obviously, it's the Turkish and Deluded show, the DG and Turkish show. Turkish is held up in traffic. He told me he'd be here at about 10 past. So, yeah, man, let's hope he gets out of that quickly. But until that happens, I'm here to entertain you lot, man. What are you lot saying? I'm not going to even cap people. I'm eating jerk chicken and rice. So let me get one more mouthful of rice. Thank you. Now, let's go, man. What you lot saying? Fire thumbnail. Trust me, big up Turkish's artist who got that one pattern. I don't think it looks like me though, and I'm not really sold on it, but it does look wavy still. Daniel, big up you, man. I knew to make you a moderator. You're showing some consistency levels. Come on, Matt, man. Come on. I mean, right now it's just the DG show. I don't know where Turkish is at. I'm gonna check my phone in a minute. Hope, man. I hope so, man. I hope so, man. If we can just build 100 every day, we can get somewhere, man. But I'm loving the love. I'm loving all of you lot checked in, man. I'm loving you lot. I ain't gonna have time to check that right now, man. Don't know, my guy. I hope you're all safe. Beard of knowledge. Hopefully, I get a beard one day. It's looking a bit mad. Jerk chicken or curry goat. I just said jerk chicken, brother, but I wouldn't mind some curry goat. To be fair with you, it's actually been a minute still. Let's see what Turkish has said. The 10 minutes ago, send the link before you go on. I sent that, bro. Me, and the fans are waiting. So it's all with him now, my guy. It's all with him. It's all with him. It's all with him. He's got a pattern up. So yeah, let's tune in, man. What you lot saying, man? We might as well, while we're waiting for Turkish not to spoil it, you know, might as well swing some questions, man. You might as well swing it. Or in fact, before we get on to all of that stuff, people, I was gonna do a separate vid, but as you lot saw, the art of the what's the thing called again? The title changed. Bukayo Saka's been called up to the England squad by Gareth Southgate. Come on, I mean, what can I say? On one hand, I'm excited for the man. On the other hand, I'm excited, but I'm saying this expectedly. Dunn should have got this call up time ago. Like I said, if you're Phil Foden, if you're Greenwood, if you're him, these are the guys I believe you've got to put a hat on or put a hat on these three and go and make them something and go and make them players. And I think Saka deserves it. You know, towards the end of the season, he got out of the team. He's been out of the team now, but the talent is there, and it's truly a meteoric rise from the young lad. You know, he's 19. He's got the number 7 shirt at Arsenal, got a new contract, and he's been called up to the England squad. Now, that's a different sort of honour. When we're young, we all wanted to win trophies. He's won the trophy, FA Cup and that as well, pardon me, Community Shield as 2. And now he's got to play for England. We all dream to do that. So big up Bukayo Saka. And I also saw Maitland-Niles was called up. Calvert-Lewin's also been called up. And I can't say that's well-deserved, man, really and truly. But let's get with the questions. Anyone told you got a face for comedy? All right, bro. I mean, if the bag's there, I'll go do that, man. Southgate don't know what to do, but just the fact that Southgate's called up Saka for this one, I leave him alone, man. Big up all my American people, them. It's ridiculous, and I know the time zone difference hasn't been kind to you, so it means a lot that you're making the app. And we've got some questions. Where did you bump trains? I bumped all sorts of trains before they changed it. Southbury, Silver Street, Seven Sisters, all the way up into Central. You know, there's plenty of trains, man. Romford, I used to just run out in that. Yeah, man. When you're coming up, it's different, man. It's different. I'm blessed, my guy, man. I'm always blessed. I'm always blessed. Did I pre-order FIFA 21? No, I haven't. I'll probably go cop it at midnight, man. Laptop's not sorted, my guy. Currently, I've rented out a MacBook. I have to wait for GoFundMe to pattern off the P's, and then I can go and do that. But right now, I'm using a rented MacBook. My boy also gave me a HP one that's got also got the editing stuff on it, so I'll always use that as well, man. And bro, thank you very much, Amani, for that $5. And before I begin, I know I've done a thank you vid, but you listen, everybody that chipped in relation to my situation, it means the world, people. It means the world. Even if you didn't and you just raised awareness and you just said good wishes and all those things, it means a lot, man. It means a lot. It really means a lot, man. Thank you very much. Let's just kick this off while we're waiting for Turkish. Do you think we can get our party? We need to. We need to. The longer it goes on, the more I'm scared. Forgive me if I'm wrong, people. The window is shut on Monday. I hope we've got plan B targets. If we cannot secure our, which based on paper talk seems that we can, and Partey, which based on paper talk seemed to be the one we're going to get, and now we're not going to pay the release clause. For me, we need plan B targets. What scares me is the more we delay and we need plan B targets, like I said in another vid, teams know you're desperate. Teams know you're desperate. Teams know we're struggling to move players on. Teams know we need a midfielder. You know, teams know we're going to be significantly weaker. So they say, all right, cool, pay the money or F off. So I hope the club have a plan, and I'd be inclined to believe they do, because if I was Arteta, you know, it's one of the toughest jobs you can undertake as a first-time manager. You've been given more sort of, what's the word, hands-on sort of business with the transfers. So you'd be an idiot not to make sure you get the players, because ultimately, come May, this is what is going to be said. So I believe in Arteta. Obviously, unless you're Arteta's family or you're at Arsenal in some capacity, you're not going to know the team's business. So I hope that we are doing some work in the background, but until we get that pattern, I do not have a clue, my guy, man. So yeah, man, love. Next question, let's crack on. Anyone else on Supermalt? I like Supermalt, my guy, man. Someone buy me one, man. I'll back that. They need to sponsor, man. Aye, you know, Stokey, you know. That's another one of the culture. I want Saliba to start today, my guy. I want Saliba to start, my guy. I think this is a good opportunity for him. You know, I thought he would have played against Leicester, but for whatever reason, he didn't. I believe around them times there, he was playing in the under-23s. I want Saliba to play, but at the same time, yeah, I get it. I get why we're taking our time. There's a lot of hype around him. You lot watching this probably understand, but he's a young man. He's going to boss it one week. He's going to get absolutely terrorized the next week. You know, he's got a good foundation to build on, with obviously being exposed to first team football at St Etienne, but he's got a lot of learning to do, man. He's got a lot of learning to do. I wish he starts. You know, you'd imagine that Jurgen Klopp plays the Curtis Joneses, the Harvey Elliots, you know, Minamino, Jota will probably get a start. So I don't want to say it's an easy game for any team, because it's not, but you know, it's not like he's playing against the front three. Man said, where is Turkish? That's the major question. Let's check the phone. Let's go to VAR. And I see someone said, bare people from ends, real local, Rectory Road. You know, it feels like I'm here with some North Youths, even though that's in East. Where you at? So yeah, I don't know what I'm going for Turkish, man. I don't know if Turkish is going to be here, but what is what it is. How do you think he'll get on? He looks like I think, you know, going to PSV in the Dutch league's a good step for his development, and I think they'll make a healthy sort of profit when it does come to selling him, people. Gavo, thank you very much. It means a lot. Come on, Jamie, man. I'd love to extend the same to you. Christopher, love for tuning in down under. You lot all 10 hours in front and them thing there. So it's a bit mad still. But love for that one. Somebody's asked, big up Deluded. Thank you very much. What do you think about Edu, about what Edu's done so far? It's difficult. It's difficult what to make of it, my guy. It's really difficult, because it's like, what have we done? You know, big up to you. You know, I don't want to just attribute Edu to it, but you know, we've kept Aubameyang, we've kept Saka, we've brought in Gabriel. You know, we've Saliba. I can't even remember if he was involved in the Saliba one. I don't think he was. Still wanting a bit more at the end of the day. You know, you don't bring in these midfielders. I'm looking at Edu and I'm looking at Arteta, because now Arteta has a hand in transfers and Edu's meant to be the guy. So I'm looking at him, you know, obviously he had a hand in bringing in Martinelli. We know the bulk of it was done via scouts, but he had a hand in it. We know he's, you know, obviously on top of Arteta wanted him to come to the club and the attraction, he's probably had a hand in bringing in Willan. But if he doesn't bring me 2 centre mids, I was about to say 10. If he doesn't bring me 2 central midfielders, 1 minimum, then I have to look at you a bit sideways, because that was your task. You know, we know for months we need a midfielder or two. We're in the transfer market, and I don't see such in right now. So it is what it is. I'm not feeling it either, my guy, but we see him poor. Like I've heard today, Torreira is allegedly going out on loan with an obligation to buy, which I'm seeing obligation to buy and I'm seeing just loans. For us, it don't make sense, because for me, unless you're, you know, doing the obligation to buy, which is basically a permanent thing, and you're getting the P's, it don't make sense to let Torreira go, because if you can't bring in Partey right now, and for whatever reason, even though Aro's not the same skill set, you're a man light in midfield. If you want to be specific, you know, you haven't really got that anything close to a defensive mid, box to box, someone that can put a foot in if Torreira's not in the team. I know El Nene can do that, and he's been all right, but if we're honest, you know, he's not a specialist, if anything. You know, El Nene's been here for a number of years. We still don't know what specific midfield role is his. We know he's got an engine. He's definitely got more technical ability than people give him credit for, but we're a man light in midfield, so we're playing a dangerous game. This is why, once again, for me, we need to have plan B, C, D, E, F targets. But the longer we go on, the more that these targets at these other clubs know what we're on. We're gonna be more desperate. We're gonna have to probably fork out more P's, bro. So we'll see what go on. Love for the question. Are you I assume you're saying, are you eventually going to bring out merchandise? If you lot want that, I've got the designs. I'll be talking to people, but I don't know if you lot want that. I hear it every now and again, but if you lot want that, I'll supply it. You know me, I'm a man of the people. I'm not going to deny you lot anything. Well, Turkish ain't here, so I think it's Lionel Messi, man. It's Lionel Messi. Hey, Turkish is here. But before I bring him in, do you think my fellow Croydon Don in Emil Smith-Rowe will go out on loan to a Premier League side? I mean, there's every reason to say he should, but I don't think he will. I think he'll stay in and around the first team. But let's bring in Turkish. Hey.
Yes, what are you saying, G? Can you hear me, yeah?
It's me.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. I don't know what was that, but I thought my team was bugging out, but it is what it is. It is what it is. What are you saying, Mr. Traffic Man?
Sorry about that. Imagine I'm going from Wood Green to Enfield, bro. It took me an hour, bro. Like,
yeah, you lacked, man. You going and doing that in rush hour and that, man.
I thought I was in rush hour at 4 o'clock, bro, but I just got caught right up in it, man.
Just the fact that you're here is calm, man. We finally got the Turkish and Deluded show. When I said that, and obviously I've come by myself, man's having to wing it. But what are you saying for Saka, though, man? I've already offered my opinions. What are you saying for Saka? He got called up to the England team.
Oh yeah, I see that, because I had the video playing while I was in the whip still. Obviously, good on him, innit? It looks like that's what he wanted. It is what it is. If you ask me my opinion on the international scene, and
yeah, that's a whole different debate.
In a sense, I'm disappointed as well, man. I like players to play for their home countries. And by home countries, I mean their ethnicity, their nationality,
their heritage thing
they was just born in. Obviously, it's a controversial debate, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I would have liked to see, for example, Mesut Ozil play for Turkey. I would have liked to see Bukayo Saka play for Nigeria. I would have liked to see Raheem Sterling play for Jamaica. Things like that. Because I believe it makes it more competitive on the international scene. I think when things like this happen, it dilutes other countries in terms of performance level, and there isn't a way back. Only countries that accept immigration, and obviously only countries that are well built and established and people want to come to will benefit from this. And on the international scene, that's going to causes imbalance already. Turkey have seen it from time with Inla and the brothers that used to play for Switzerland and Emre and Gundogan. Come on, man.
Man. Marcus Senna play for Spain and that.
Yeah, but it is what it is, fam. Obviously, I'm happy for him because this is what he wanted. I think he wanted England over Nigeria, so it is what it is for him. As long as he's happy, that's the main thing, because if he's happy, he should be able to perform at his best for Arsenal.
I can't disagree with a word you said. I think, the way you've said it, I think he grew up wanting to play for England, but Nigeria, you could be treated like, I don't want to say a god, but like royalty, like it's really national pride sort of thing. Like someone said in the comments, you're fully preaching. What do you think of Thingy though, man?
I see someone there say Aubameyang's loyalty and that. And look, fam, I'm sure Oba could have played for another country, but
probably could have played for France.
Lad, and look at the French squad.
They're saying don't forget Declan Rice, bro.
Yeah, like Declan Rice, Jack Grealish is another one. Let's not forget him. He got played once by England years ago just to stop him playing for Ireland. Yeah, things like that happen because of this rule. Do you get me? I don't want to get into it too much because you piss people off. Yeah,
you do.
It is what it is. The international scene has been affected by it, and it's only going to go one way. And the countries like France, Germany, England, they're only going to get stronger. USA, imagine when USA really get their head around football and the amount of
imagine Canada, bro, because they've got Jonathan Davis, and for me more so they've got Jonathan Davis and they got Alphonso Davies, who's actually Ghanaian, I believe. So they've had a refugee families come. He's playing for Bayern Munich, so they're gonna madly benefit from that, man. It's a weird one. What do you think? What are you making of the Aura rumors though, man? The Aura and the Partey business, because every day they're coming, they're not here. Like we're getting close to the window being done, bro.
You know me, fam. I don't expect nothing, and if something happens, then I analyze it afterwards. It looks like we'll get one, and it looks like it's going to be a war now. If I had to pick out the two, it'd always be Partey. I think Partey is a world-class box-to-box CM / deep lying. Like he can do all of the roles, that we would need.
Just offer it, yeah.
So I think that world-class player we've lacked in the middle for so long, I think he would definitely be the nod. With Aouar, I don't feel he's at that world-class level yet, and obviously his skill set is very different, but we need him too. Don't get it twisted. We need both. if we get one in, bro, it is what it is. You know, it's going to appease the majority of the fan base, and that's all they try and do. You know, if they get one in reality, you know, they're not really doing their thing.
Yeah, they're not really trying to push the ball out because we need 2 midfielders, you know. And for me, I'm scared that not that Torreira wants to leave, but you know, it sounds a bit fishy, you know. Partey can't come to us, but you're dealing with Atletico and giving them Torreira. We don't really have that skill set because Torreira's probably got the closest skill set to Partey in being a box to box of sorts, in being able to put a foot in. We're losing that. We're relying on El Neni, and for me, I think we're playing a dangerous game, bro, because I've been saying we need plan B and C targets, which they probably do. But as you know, the market's shutting. So if I'm a club with these plan B and C targets, I'm saying, you know what? If you want it, you have to pay more. I hear what you're doing with Partey, and I hear what you're doing with Aouar, but you have to pay more. I know you're desperate. I know you can't move players on, so I know about your financial situation. Like, what's your thoughts on that, man?
But you ruin your reputation in the market. That's what teams can do. You know, Arsenal have ruined theirs. Like Man United, for example, they've ruined theirs. You know, Dortmund know Man United are going to bend over in the end. They know that. You know, so they hold out, and if they don't bend over, they will bend over at the next given opportunity. Look at Bruno Fernandes and Sporting, and he should have signed 6 months before he did. Clubs know United bend over. With Arsenal, clubs know that we are fucked and tight for money right now, and that we need to sell, buy, and we haven't got an owner that cares. Clubs know
be
that.
Creative in the market.
Yeah, 100%. Clubs know that, but at the same time, clubs also know that we can invest more money if we wanted to. We have got that infrastructure, that brand name, that credibility.
Ultimately.
Yeah, so they know, fam. So they know, obviously, we tend to play games too, bro. You know, not just 40 million and a pound, but there's so many examples. Even with Leon, we played games with Lacazette for a couple of years before we signed him. You know, that breaks down your relationship with a club. I said on Rance's channel, teams like Leon, teams like Dortmund, yeah, you need to have good relationships with these clubs.
Keep them sweet.
Because they buy players, build them, sell them at a reasonable price more often than not. Build a good relationship, but instead United and Arsenal, you look at them, they're breaking those relationships, and it's going to hurt in the long run, but hopefully we do get it done.
I can't disagree with a word you said, man. What happens if we don't bring in a midfielder? Like, let's say worst case scenario, no midfielders arrive, man. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to talk it into existence, but it's a possibility we have to consider.
No, it's definitely a possibility, fam. You have to talk about it because it can happen, bro. But if that was to happen, we are fucked. We are fucked. And by fucked, I mean it's going to be another season similar to the last, similar to the one before, similar to the one before that. You know, if we don't actually bring in one at the very least, because at least one, yeah, you see when you look at Chelsea, indifferent. You look at United, indifferent. Tottenham, indifferent. That gives us hope. But the hope only comes if we get one of those players. If we get two, I think we can start chatting a bit of shit because there's a lot more confidence. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah, we can start pushing out our chest for defo a bit higher if them man there come into the club.
Yeah, and that's what man wants to do, fam. I've been able to push out my chest regarding Arsenal Football Club over a decade, fam.
For a minute, it's almost like, yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan saying it on the embarrassing. Like,
yeah. Trust me, that's what it is, bro. I want to do that. So, but if we get two, mad thing. If we get one, definitely there's some hope there. And if we get none, fucked.
You put it right, fam. Right, let's bring it back to Monday, man. Obviously, we're playing today. We'll get onto it. But what's your thoughts on the game against Liverpool on Monday? What was your feelings? Like, talk to me, bro. What happened?
What happened is what was expected to happen. We was going to set up shop like that. I think you and I both expected Arteta to set up pretty much how we did last, because that's the only way we can set up against Liverpool. In terms of this team we have, that's the only way. You know, and I know some people are critical of Arteta, but to those people, if there's any in the live now, go to his post-match interview, and the first question, literally, go on Haters TV or Beanie Man Sports, go watch the interview, and the first question was, are you sacrificing the Arsenal way in terms of the way you're setting up against the big teams? Because there's this whole Jose Mourinho tool, there's this whole bullshit.
Nothing like that.
It's nothing like that, fam. And Arteta come out and said, the first thing he said is, listen, the coach wants to do one thing, but with the resources and tools that he has, we have to do another. And that's in the best interest of the club. In other words, the team
I ain't got the man to do what I want to do, fam. Yeah. I ain't got the man I want to do. So this is it.
That's exactly it. So yeah, fam, I think that we had to do that. And at the end of the day, it was a stretch to think we're going to go Anfield and get 3 points. It's a stretch to think you're going to go Anfield and get one. You know, we had momentum. We looked good against them. But, you know, we beat them twice. You know, when you beat winners, that those winners want to come back and bite you.
They want to come back and bite you.
If you beat them twice, and then the way we celebrated the Community Shield and the way they walked off the pitch looking at it, I knew they was out for revenge. And that first half, they balled out in that first half. Like going in 2-1 down was a miracle for us, I think.
Do you feel we shot ourselves in the foot? Because I hear what you're saying, and I agree with it. Like, I think their game plan was superb. They pressed us, they forced us into errors. But at the same time, I can't lie to you, bro. As good as Liverpool are, I don't think they were at their best, because I think they can play a way better. But I think we threw the game away. Like, I think we looked like, unlike the last 2 games where we've gone into it, we didn't look like we could believe. It looked like, I don't know if the Anfield thing scared them, which there's no fans, but it just looked like we was resigned to defeat. It just looked like we was admiring players too much. Obviously, them 3 goals for me, I'm just seeing that as mistakes. I'm not seeing that as Liverpool are a quality team. You know, they cut you open. That's what I wanted it to be. I thought we'd lose anyways. But if we lost and the quality of their front 3, I'd say fair enough. But I feel like City away last season, we just threw it away, man. There was some. I'm not taking nothing away from Liverpool, but I just feel we sacked ourselves out of this game, man. We were never in it.
Potentially, yeah. You know, you can question a lot of the players in terms of character and mentality. Like we've seen in the past, players not stand up and rise up to challenges. You know, and I don't mean that in terms of challenges in a tackle. I mean challenges when you're facing an opposition, tactics. You know, formation and challenges on the pitch in the 90 minutes. All of that we've seen players on that pitch on Monday fail time and time again under Wenger, under Emery. And
it's not good enough, man.
At the moment too, in terms of that game, when we look at the 90 minutes, because some of the names, you know, Saka came off after 60 minutes. He struggled. Bellerin had a part to play in all 3 Liverpool goals, in my opinion. I won't say he's the only one to blame, but he was the only one to have a part. Yeah, no, I'd even say the Yotto one. He didn't close him down. You know, if you're
I'm onto Ceballos for that, bro. You know, I'm onto Ceballos. I'm onto the midfield, because they're just leaving Yotto to bang it. I felt it was.
I get it. No.
Don't get twisted. It's just that's what I mean, bro. It's just bare collective errors. Like what was the goal where I think Salah had a shot and someone poked it in. It might have been Mane. Like that whole sequence to me, bro, was a series of errors. Like Leno, there's question marks. He made some saves, but that was a poor save. Xhaka and Luiz never got going. They let Keita go far too easily. Tierney, I'm not going to get at him because he always does his thing, but he got done for that. That's what I mean about the mentality. It looked like we're admiring them man there too much. I don't know what is going on.
You know what it is, and you know what us Arsenal fans do, yeah? And listen, and I get it. You see, okay, let me give you an example, yeah? You see Maitland-Niles, yeah?
I don't rub out my guy, man.
Nah. Let me just tell you something, yeah. Maitland-Niles, yeah. Obviously, he had good games against the big teams towards the end of last season, and us as a fan base or sections of the fan base tend to gas players because of emotional connections or whatever it is, yeah. Now, Ainsley Maitland-Niles was shocking on Monday. He didn't support Tierney enough. Tierney was overloaded on that.
He was involved in the goal, but I got to save Maitland. You know I'm bare biased to Maitland, man. It's
even his involvement in the goal, it was imagine Robertson did that. That was our only attack in that first.
Yeah, the Sunday League. It was fully Sunday League.
Next, bro. And remember at the end of the first half when Luiz played a peach of a ball over the top and his touch.
Oh yeah, the touch. Yeah.
He was 1-on-1. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's done out, but what I'm saying is, as a fan base, we need to kind of remember our standards are a lot higher. You know, Tierney has shown us what a defender is. And let's not forget, Maitland-Niles is covering as a defender. Bellerin is also a defender. So when we see Tierney coming in as a breath of fresh air in terms of bringing in a real fucking defender for once, yeah, that's the standard I'm going to hold everyone to. Now, I don't care if Maitland-Niles is a utility player or not. What I care about is who's starting the game in defence. I'm going to judge you on that. And if Maitland-Niles is starting as a left back or Bellerin right back, I'm going to judge them on Kieran Tierney's standards and what I expect now. Because obviously we need to move forward from that mentality where we think, oh, he's an academy boy. Oh, he grew up here. Oh, he
remove the emotion.
PSG, with Bellerin, is PSG wanted him. Of course he's good.
So there must be something about him.
But with Granit Xhaka, no one says Hertha Berlin wanted him. They bring out another argument because you can't use that argument there. So there's always an emotional attachment with fans and players, yeah, that we need to
stay much stands or whatever it's called, whatever they call it, where you just rep a player in that.
Yeah, exactly that, fam. And at the same time, people say to me, "Oh, Ozil's Turkish, why? And you're Turkish, and this." But that's a prime example for me. You know, when Ozil come, I was proud. I bought his shirt straight away. There's an emotional connection there before Arsenal Football Club because it's like a Turkish man, a Turkish name in world news, football related. Sick.
Mesut
But
Ozil,
when we signed him, it was a mad thing. I loved it, but that's not gonna like cloud my judgment regarding Arsenal Football Club. Do you get it? Because I love Arsenal Football Club, fam. Get me? I might love the fact that a Turkish man has like rose to that level. But you need to be subjective and objective when you have kind of these conversations about if you want the best for your club, you need to be subjective, fam. Even with Lacazette, fam, I'm nearly tired of Lacazette, bro. I'm nearly tired, bro.
Bro, I knew he was going to get onto Laka, you know, because Laka's my guy. I'll give him this. He started the season well. He scored on Monday, but that chance should have been home. Should have scored that. But I'm not even going to, you know, there's many incidences like that. But that's what I was saying when people used to get onto me. Lacazette it's not a bad thing to say he's limited. Like, he is limited. He's not going to be a 20-goal season striker, so he's limited. I hear all the general play and the big games, and he brings the best out and he does the work rate. I'm not underestimating any of that. But at some level, you know, if you're not scoring 20 league goals or being that guy, there's only so good you can be. Like, when you've got an Aubameyang, okay, maybe Willian's not everyone's fucking cup of tea, and neither is Pepe, but we've got wingers there. So it's like the burden to score is not necessarily placed on Lacazette. You know, if Aubameyang was to be the sole attacker and we had some average man, he could do it. Lacazette can't. You know, Wenger was criticized a lot. Within 6 months of Lacazette being here, you know, you bring in Aubameyang. And you remember for years, like you said earlier, we wanted Lacazette. It's well documented that Wenger had reservations about my man. And I don't want to say he's right and Lacazette's poor, but you can kind of see for Lacazette's strengths. Like you said, it's like you're looking at it, it's like, what is this really? Like, do you want to sign a new deal or not?
Yeah, and we look back at that. Yeah, look, you bring up a good point because look, we look back at Wenger and we know he wasn't supported like he should have been. You know, that was part of the reason some of the transfer markets were the way they was. And that's part of the reason why, like you said, it seemed like he had reservations about Laka. He probably wanted someone else ahead, probably a Benzema who he was always linked to.
Always him, not him.
Yeah, so he didn't get that sort of Benzema or maybe another player he liked. He got a Lacazette. It didn't work out, yeah. And now what I need to tell fans is, as much as we trust Arteta and as much as we support him and understand the vision on all of this shit, yeah. If he doesn't get the players he wants, yeah, we're going to look back in a few years. Arteta might be managing Barcelona and we might be saying to ourselves, let me give you an example. We might say to ourselves, who did we sign this year? Willian. All right, we might say to ourselves, Arteta, you know Arteta wanted Coutinho, but instead he got Willian. Do you get what I'm saying? And then we make excuses, but we give reasons for what happened now. Instead of let's draw a line on all of this bullshit that's happened.
Call a spade sort of thing.
Stuff has happened before in some way, shape, or form in the last decade. All of this shit in the transfer window, the excuses, the excitement.
It recycles, man. It just recycles, man.
Like, let's start opening our eyes and being, even as a fan base, being more proactive with the pressure. Because even as much as a club, we are reactive in the transfer market. As fans, it's always like, let's wait. The season starts. Yeah, you've waited for the whole transfer window to go. You've waited to see what happens. Nothing happens. The season starts. It's wait for the end of the season. There's nothing we can do. Give me a break. Like, it's all.
Fam, do you know what I feel that is as well? Like, I'm not going to say it's just Arsenal fans, but I feel fans, they like to pick too many sides. They don't, like you said, they don't like to see things for what it is. And I do think when we won the Community Shield, when we've won the FA Cup, when Arteta's come in and been sort of infectious and we're buying into him, I think it's clouded people a bit. And that's nothing to do knocking the successes. This is just a false air of judgment as to where this squad is and where we are as a club. When you play Liverpool on Monday, there's no hiding place. You immediately see the level. Now, we can still have a decent season if we move forward. But that's if I'm harsh, that's another game against a top 6 rival in the Premier League that we choked. You know, it weren't a sort of army thing like we went down fighting. I don't think we was trash, but there was a clear class in quality. And I think, like I said, I think we gave it to Liverpool. You know, way before I talk about Liverpool and their goals, I'm looking at what we did. And if it's a game where we just went out fighting and we got smoked, then fair enough. But I don't think we did that. And Arteta can only tell these boys so much. When I'm hearing players say, oh, we're prepared, we want trophies, we want to do this, you're just making me look at you sideways. Because go and show me on the pitch. Go and show me. We're not anywhere near Liverpool, but go and show me you want to aspire to them. Don't let Mane run through man and rough man up and do all of what he was doing. It weren't there. It's not like we got a long way to go, fam.
Yeah, we definitely got a long way to go. Arteta knows it as well, but but you see, when obviously I was one of the fans that put pressure on Wenger, yeah. Even if we go back to AFTV interviews 2.5 years ago, I always said like, don't get it twisted. When Wenger goes, yeah, it's still going to take at least 3 years to fix it, yeah. Now that at least 3 years is still at least 3 years because in the last 2 years we've still done bullshit post
What have
Wenger.
we done, fam? What have we done? What have we
So
done?
it's mad. And you know what? I compare a
We
bit.
love the cycles thing, bruv.
Yeah, and you tell me if I'm wrong, yeah, but I compare a bit Unai Emery and Arteta, not in any way, shape, or form, tactician and playing style and whatnot, but in terms of how you see the Arsenal career going so far. You see Emery, he came in, he done his best with what he could do.
Everything he touched was gold, sort of thing. At one point, we got
Yeah,
our arse back.
yeah. If you look at the season, we was a point off top four and in the Europa League final with the squad of players we are fucking fed up with right now. Do you get what I'm saying? So in hindsight, okay, he done good that season. Maybe he fucked up at the end. Now the second season, the pressure came on because he wasn't playing the formation we think he didn't even want to play. It was constant substitutions. It was still rotation. It was lack of captain still. Now Arteta, we're into his first full season, but second season. And I'm not saying this to discredit him. I'm saying it's an example of look what we have to deal with. Emery didn't get support. Emery wanted Partey.
And he got Torreira.
Yeah,
but that's why I feel Arteta, and obviously I'm not saying the same, but that's why I feel it's different because I feel obviously he's not Arteta's a manager now, he's not a head coach. That's why I can't really give Emery too much because fair enough, you wanted Partey, sorry, and then Zonzi still should have been levels with Torreira, but I agree with that point. That let me ask you something because you kind of gone on to what I wanted to say. Yeah, first and foremost, do you think Arteta got it wrong with some of his choices against Liverpool? And, as much as I don't believe it, statistically, we're not shooting that much. I think we're some of the least shooters this season. Do you feel Arteta, to a degree, might be negative in that regards, or is failing to kind of coach that? Or is it simply, like you said, he needs his own players and all those sort of things?
What was that last thing you said, that we don't take a lot of shots?
Yeah. Statistically, we're quite low for shots. Something that was, I was frontline about Emery with that. Frontline.
Exactly. Doesn't that remind you of the beginning of last season?
Yeah. 100.
They're dealing with the same fucking owners and they're dealing with the same bullshit. But okay, did Arteta get things wrong? There's things you can question. You can say maybe Gabriel should have played.
So on
the other hand, I can also say, listen, whatever two you put in the middle, yeah, Liverpool are going to eat us alive in the middle, and there's going to be pressure on the defense. So maybe playing Gabriel might not be the best. Maybe playing Gabriel and Saliba tonight as a partnership in a four, or maybe either side of Luiz, maybe that will be better for their development. So I can see pros and cons for it, but it's something you can debate. But Deluded, I don't think there's a team we could put out there and we could confidently say we're going to get something out of the game.
So, no. Just look at our squad. Like I said, the minimum, I just wanted to see us use I know every game, just based on the past, you don't get certain things. But I was wanting to use the Community Shield and the FA Cup as the blueprint because there's some man in this team that I don't think are good enough for this team, but I've seen performances. And I never saw none of that. Like, I didn't see none of that. I never saw no belief. I never saw when man got the ball in possession, they felt they could do something. We're seeing 5-yard passes not work. We're seeing, this team we play out from the back. I'm not being funny, but we should be able to play under pressure with respect to Liverpool. And we have done that against them. We're struggling. So it's like, what's gone wrong there? Like, I don't get it because for me, it's the talking thing that annoys me about the players. If you never said anything, then cool. But when you're saying you want to be levels and doing this, the talking needs to be done on the field. And I'm not seeing it. And my man said as well, before I forget, because it's been up there for time, do you think it's an L if we keep Torreira?
If we don't sign another midfielder and we let Torreira go, it's definitely an L. But if we get Partey and bring in Torreira, it makes sense. But if we bring in Aouar and get rid of Torreira, it doesn't make sense. So you can look at it in every way, What do you think? Because Torreira is Aouar's not a Torreira replacement. Partey would be the Torreira replacement in a sense.
That's the thing. Me, I can't lie. I'm biased to Torreira. I want Torreira to stay. Like, I would love to know, what has made it like he has to leave. Is it a tactical decision? We hear he never settled. Did he not settle? I don't see a reason as to why you can't have Torreira and Partey in the squad. I want to flirt between that. Like Simeone wants that. So I don't get it. I want to keep.
He'd be definitely one I keep. Like, obviously, it hasn't worked out so far, but I feel he's only had 2 years. I feel like I've given other players more than 2 years.
Oh, we're giving some man time, bro. Time.
And it hasn't been the best platform. Like 3 different managers, you get me, up and down, inconsistency all over the gaff, negative press, a fan base at each other's neck. Like over the last 2-3 years, it hasn't been the best platform, you know. And people
crying in that as well with the jacketing.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously with Torreira, even you just reminded me that he was crying when Xhaka was coming off and he got booed. And I'm just thinking that, blood, you need to just
too much for Donny.
You don't need that character. What you were just talking about mental and all that stuff. Man, you got to be on point, but you can't be crying because
I know them South American man can be, you know, like very emotional and in their feelings and hot and cold. But Torreira, I don't know, man. I think I actually feel he's wanted to leave and he's just never settled. And you know, if that's what man are on, we just gotta move them on, bro. But it's
bro, if Simeone wants you as a DM, you must be a good player because Simeone is one of the best coaches in the world. I'd put Simeone behind Klopp and Guardiola. You know,
there's levels. He's levels for what he's done. There's fallen off a bit, but he's levels.
For me, if he wants him, that shows that Torreira must have something that he can work with. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's going to benefit him, guy. He looks like a
if he goes there and does his thing and he's playing regular football in the Champions League and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what I can't be surprised because, you know, Argentinian, Uruguayan, South American passion, like you said, the system, you know, he will thrive in that system. He will thrive as a defensive mid. Obviously, you can go with probably not playing FA Cup or playing Champions League and whatnot. So you're going to want to go and do that. And probably the way of life is probably closer to Italy/Uruguay than obviously on a rainy North London day. So he's had some good moments. I just feel bittersweet because it didn't have to go this way for me. Like it didn't have to work like this. He can't go from, you know, Ian Wright saying we've been waiting years for this player. You know, 2018, Torreira was everything we talked about. 2019, he had the injuries. Emre started smoking buds, trying to make him a creative midfielder. It got long, man. It got long. But I'm not going to lie. I don't feel safe without Torreira in our midfield. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really trust any of our midfield options currently. Full-hearted.
Yeah, when you look at our midfield on paper, letting go of Torreira right now doesn't make sense. You know, the only way it makes sense, like I said, is at least if Partey comes in. But I'm with you. I'd keep both. Because, you know, Torreira is near the top in my eyes in terms of the midfielders we have now. It is what it is, man. I'm like, get rid of the players that are homesick. Get rid of the players that they can't handle it. Get rid of the players.
I don't want to be here, fam. F off.
Yeah, that's what it is. I've got no allegiance to no one at the club apart from a few youngsters and Aubameyang. That's it.
Facts. What about this man, Pepe, man? Do you think we got finessed? What do you think for him? Because, I mean, when you're not starting, you're 70 million, you're not starting against Liverpool. What are you doing? Like, Willan didn't start. There's obviously going to be the Pepe thing, but yeah, man, we saying.
You know what it is, yeah? We don't know yet, but it looks like, yes, if you put it that way, if you ask me the question, yes, it looks like we might have been finessed. But you know what we have to do as Arsenal fans? We need to stop, like, we even talk about this 72 million a lot as well. We need to be making this the norm, you know? At the end of the day, many 70 million plus signings at Chelsea flop and don't work out.
I mean, their keeper.
Come on, they had Kepa, they had Morata of recent times. You know, you look at Man United and how much they've spent and it hasn't worked out. You know, yes, the price tag does come up when people banter and whatnot, but this is literally the only signing we've made that we've taken a bit of a risk, and it hasn't worked out. Literally the only one. So I think us as a fan base put a bit too much pressure on it too. I think, yes, we expect a lot more. He's definitely not lived up to it. And this season's crucial because if he doesn't pick it up, then the third season's a big one for me because you either make it or you go. You know, that's how I see it. So for me, definitely, it looks like we've been finessed at the moment. I do still have hope, but at the same time, we need to be making it the norm that we sign players at that level. Exciting young, because don't get it twisted. Yes, it might not work out, but signing one of the most exciting young wingers in Europe last summer, which was the case in hindsight.
Yeah, people act up, but let's not be honest. Bear fans of Premier League team, Chelsea fans wanted him, United fans wanted him. When they were linked, they were all making videos and that. We'll run back now, but it's facts.
Yeah, and how often, Deluded, as Arsenal fans, do we go and get first go for a player that's linked to a few clubs, and number two? So for me, we need more of that, you know, without critiquing Pepe too much at the moment because the platform's been shit as well.
for many different reasons. That
even since Arteta's come in, Arteta hasn't given him the best platform either. So it's not like Arteta's come in, everything's turned around, and Pepe's still playing shit. No, Arteta's come in, a lot of things have turned around, but Pepe is still not getting the chance.
Do you think he rates Pepe, to play devil's advocate? Do you think he rates him? Because he started him in big games. I think he's reacted to him defensively. But do you think he rates him? Because I don't know myself.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You know what? I said it the other day. I think he does, and that's the hope I have. The only reason I say I think he does is because in interviews he's quite blunt, and you can kind of tell what players he doesn't feel and he doesn't want to talk about. With Pepe, he expands on what he's trying to do. He's open and honest. He talks about the training thing and improving, and he's talked about different phases of the game. He wants Pepe to be doing different things.
There's a lot of maturity to come from Pepe for sure.
Yeah, so I think he does have faith in him, and I think he's maybe making it his own personal project, because at the same time, you look back at Arteta's reign, it looks like Pepe was a flop, and if Arteta can turn it around, it's like Arteta turned Arsenal around, and he turned Pepe around, turned him into a star, and start to build that reputation up as the manager. So that's the hope I have. I think he does still want him, but Pepe needs to kind of man up, show yourself, and do your thing, and stand up to the challenge.
Like you said, I think Pepe's of that age. Like his dad even said in one interview, he needs to obviously he dedicates his life to football. He's a devout Muslim. He's a devout, doing his training and stuff. But I mean, really live for it. You can't just do the bare minimum. You really got to make heaps and bounds. I don't think he's ever going to justify that price tag. I know it's not 70 million unless he bangs everything, but I don't think he's ever going to do that, because he doesn't strike me as a player with that. That being said, I do think there is a player in there. I just think he's a bit too hot and cold. I do think, like what you said, fans are onto him a bit too much. But I think there's a player in there. The thing with him, he's a bit of a confidence man, and that's kind of what I need to get out of Arsenal. Like the ones that I hear that want to move with, cool, but and I know every human's a confidence man, but times are gonna be tough. You're gonna try something, it's not gonna bang. That's what Arsenal players need to do. Everyone looks at Thierry Henry. It took him about 11 games to bag. I was a young kid them times, but what was man probably saying about him? He's not an Elka's replacement. He's this, he's that. He turned it around. If I play devil's advocate to you, bro, now we just said this about Pepe, but we spent money for Pepe, ain't really delivered. Lacazette's been a good player, ain't really delivered. Xhaka had some good moments, we'll not expand, but 40 million. Is there a case to say, on one hand, we ain't got money, but when we are splashing peas or going out for the big men, we're not doing it properly? Mustafi, 40 odd, we thought he's going to be the man with Koscielny. It didn't happen. Are we misspending when we do have these few extra pounds going around?
Yeah, we have done. We only had a few extra pounds going around, I'd say, from the summer of Ozil signing till about 2 summers ago. I think that 5-year period, I think that's when we had a bit of money. We went from a club we went from a club that wasn't spending over 100k a week on any player to giving Mesut Ozil 350k a week on a mad one. In one season that flipped around like it was a madness. But that's mismanagement of money in itself. But if you're talking about transfers, Xhaka, 35 million bump. Mustafi, 35 million bump. And
Perez in there for that 20 or something, we'd even get nothing from him.
And same with this price tag thing. Price tags changed. Those two players at 35 million then, it was a bump then. 35 million now is kind of nothing, but then it was a bump. In comparison, Kante went to Chelsea, I think, for a couple million more. And you look at what he's produced. That's why things like that make it a bump. Mustafi, same way. Van Dijk moved to 2 clubs in between, improves tenfold, won the league and Champions League. In the time we've seen what Mustafi's turned out in for 35 million. So mismanagement across the board. And there's other players there. There's definitely other players there. I just can't think. Even with Torreira and Guendouzi down to 2 years ago, they're 2 players I like. They're 2 players
But it ain't worked out.
Yeah, if you asked me last year, who do I see at the club 4 years from now? Torreira would have been there, Now, I'm not saying starting, but I'm saying they would have been there. They got the age, they got some quality. I thought they'd develop well. Now, we're talking now, and they're on the verge of leaving, So at the end of the day, that's bad. That's bad, not management, because it wasn't Unai Emery's signings. Maybe Guendouzi was. But
I think that was the Michelin tax thing.
It's the boardroom. It's Sven. It went from Wenger saying we don't need a director of football to Sven coming in under the radar to Raul coming in and disagreeing with Sven.
Fair man, just not making it happen. Like
Unai coming in, then Raul leaving. Edu. It's all mad, fam. It's all mad. It's changing every year. you know. So until they show me consistency, it's gonna be. I think it's the same old shit again.
What about Guendouzi? Do you think there's a way back for him? Because I'm starting to believe there is. If he doesn't leave this club this season, then surely his time will come. At least until January, he can say something.
I don't think so. You know, I wish there was a chance, but the fact he wasn't even on the bench in the Carabao Cup, there's like, look, tonight will be another one. There's 4 days left of the market. Yeah, if he doesn't play tonight, he must be close to a move, but there must be some options. If he's not close to a move, then surely on the bench at least. Give us as a fan base some kind of direction to what's happening with him. You leave him out, I assume he's going. You put him on the bench, I assume he can fight for his place.
He's got something there, yeah.
And I want that. I like Guendouzi, but at the same time, I understand why Arteta's vexed with him. And if
Guendouzi's one's different from Torreira. He's rubbed himself out, bro.
And if he does sell him, it's not like even if Guendouzi turned into a top player, I wouldn't blame Arteta because I'd do the same thing if a 19-year-old man disrespected me as a near 40-year-old man, or however old Arteta is. But I'm tightening the screws too.
And that's it, man. I think Guendouzi, whether he goes off to have a better career or not, I do think he'll look back at this time and say, I might have not been all the way wrong, but there's ways I could have done it. Like there's been ways, and it's funny how you said with the Torreira thing and whatnot, because in hindsight, I remember because I'm not going to claim I'm a nervy player, but I was watching Guendouzi at Lorient, and I believe in my video I spoke about his attitude issues. Now I don't like the attitude thing. Our man said Aubameyang's got attitude issues, and he came to Arsenal. He's been the most nicest player. But maybe in hindsight, we could have foresaw this because, it seems like with Guendouzi, there's been bare strikes. It hasn't just been like one and done. It's been bare things, little pisses that have been just pissing off Arteta. So maybe there's something to learn there.
Yeah, there was that rumor was it January or February when they had was it an away Europa League game or something?
Or in Dubai or something, and they got a cracking in the soccer artist cracking.
Apparently, you probably heard it too, but apparently, obviously, Arteta watches training videos back. You know, the new age coach video.
And so it ramping, innit?
And he saw that when Arteta would tell the group sign and turn around, and like Guendouzi's doing shit behind his back in it. I don't know whether that was to him or just in general being a clown. And obviously Arteta's coming in, the youngster is not respecting the thing. And they had words from there, it seems. They had words about Sutton anyway. That sounds like, knowing Guendouzi, it sounds like Sutton he'd fucking do. You get it? So I'm not going to say he done it, but okay, that's one strike. And then that thing against Brighton, like, I know Mope's a bit of a cunt as well. Don't get it twisted, Mope's he will rally man up too, and I'm sure he did do the same to Guendouzi. But Guendouzi, that kind of attitude at that age, talking about a man's wages, it's like it's not the best. And then apparently not apologizing for it after, and when Arteta wants you to. That's
the only thing he's guilty of for me, fam. Yeah. Just say sorry. Like it's a bit of I don't like the money thing in general because it just seems you're not humble. But I get it. That's just there to rattle man. He's probably sour that Brighton have stuck it on him. But it's when Arteta has said rein it in a bit, calm down. Because I think he likes him. He played him. Did he not play him against City one time? He likes him. He's got the mentality you want. It's just your balls aren't that big to be acting up in the club. Like you ain't accomplished nothing. You've just come. Maybe in hindsight, it's testament to his ability that from the minute he came from Lorient, he was playing. But maybe in hindsight, it was a thing where he's thinking he's Johnny Big Balls. He actually thinks he's up there with Vieira and Petit. He thinks he's levels. Yeah. That's how it shows how much of a joke our club is in many incidences. Because what players were there, and if there was fair play, but who's there to pull his ears and say, "Listen, patting off yourself. You ain't done nothing yet in the game. Control yourself."
Yeah, and I swear he was caught doing balloons with Kolasinac and them lot too.
Yeah. To be fair, that was all the man them. Like Lacazette's frequently caught with them, but yeah, it's not. It's not a good look.
That shows it's not a good day. Like we haven't even got the experienced ones to kind of put an arm around the shoulder. Obviously, we might be getting them now. Obviously, I think Aubameyang's a good leader, a good role model. So hopefully we can get some more, but we'll see, fam.
That's it, fam. Look at this. If you don't get anyone, forget about top four. Somebody, I removed their comment, but someone said, "Do you think Mesut Ozil will feature again?"
I don't see it. It's Mesut Ozil, yeah. That guy's gone for the club and he's gone for Arteta. Literally, if I'm the manager, yeah, and a man is telling his millions of followers on Twitter that I'm fit, I'm ready, but it's not up to me who plays, yeah. As a manager, I'm like, is that what you're doing? Yeah, I'm taking that personally, 1,000,000% personally. You don't do them things, and it doesn't make the situation any better. How would that make Arteta's gonna read that and be like, oh shit. Mesut, like, what's going to happen? What good could come from that, fam? Obviously, man's going to flip, or man's going to be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, what are you doing, sort of thing.
Yeah, so he dealt his own cards, Mesut Ozil, you know, and I don't see a future for him, even if it is waste. People call it wasting away, but when you're earning how much he earns a week, I wouldn't call it
good way of wasting away, but
yeah, but even if we can get a 50% wage thing, something, bro. You see how Bale can go back to Spurs. Mesut Ozil can't go back anywhere, fam. Don't word the Bremen want him back.
They can't afford it. I'm sure many clubs will take Ozil, but they're looking at it as, you know, simply put, the financial outlay to bringing in this player, it don't match up. Like, even paying half of his wages, you know, he's not playing, so he's not worth it. Yeah, he might sell a couple shirts and things, and that's why, for me, whether I think Ozil is the future or not, I think the club have got to tell us what's what with Ozil. And as much as I think he should be marginalized if Arteta don't want him, they've got to tell us, and you might as well use him for the last year. I'm not saying start him. You know, Carling Cup, he could get run outs. Last 20 minutes, you could try use him. But I don't like the same Ozil thing. Like, he's not involved. Like, with Arteta, we've got a chance to just wipe the slate clean. You know, Aubameyang and Saka have signed new deals. Let's just stop the dramas. Like you said at the start, like you've listed throughout this many different examples of dramas, like Wenger drama, players bust. I'm tired. Like, Arsenal is entertainment for other fans. I just want to be able to speak about on this show, Turkish. What did you think of us playing 4-3-3 or 3 at the back? That's it. But instead, we're dealing with baggage, fam. Bare baggage.
Yeah, we've got bare baggage, different sorts of baggage as well, fam. We've got little baggage, big baggage, medium baggage. We've got baggage to come. We've got baggage that's gone.
Trust me. There's more to come we don't even know about.
More baggage than anything, bro. We get more baggage on the pitch than talent.
We're just on bants, man. We are just on bants. I mean, at least he's probably selling t-shirts for the club and whatnot, man. We might as well get some questions in as we're closing up, man. We got about 9 minutes left, man. I'm trying to find a question.
Hey, hit the like button, man. What, 100 likes, bro? Come on, hit that like button.
You lot are violating still.
Hit the like, man.
Imagine Turkish being my accountant.
I see that about accountant, fam. People, man, them like calling me the accountant, you know, fam.
I know, it's a good look. Yeah, question for you still.
Yeah.
I think I deleted it. Turkish, if we can't get them both, would you like to see Partey, Jorginho, or Aura and Mamadou Diawara? What a tongue twister that was.
I would like to see, out of the two, Partey and Jorginho.
Hey, Jorginho thing. Talk to me about this Jorginho thing, bro. Because I can get it, I can see it. Because for me, that already means, you know, Xhaka is under threat, or Xhaka's got someone to think about. But something tells me, Arteta, if it did happen, Xhaka and Jorginho together, and they don't really fill me with any pride. Or not pride ain't the right word. Confidence, I say.
You know what it is? Jorginho is a very good passer of the ball. You know, Jorginho is a very good. Like but some Arsenal fans like to say Xhaka is a good passer of the ball. No, Jorginho
is not pressed when he's got 50 years to pass.
Exactly, and I think that if I'm looking at a partnership, Diawara and Aouar, I think that's more of a risk to see if it would work than Partey and Jorginho. I think Partey and Jorginho, I know you'd get enough defensive protection there at the bare minimum, and I know that both can break the lines, and so we'd need one of them to do that. With Diawara and Aouar, obviously we'll still get to see like how they develop, especially with Aouar, innit? So yeah, I'd go Partey, Jorginho, man. Obviously Jorginho is a massive upgrade on Xhaka, and Partey is a massive upgrade on everyone.
That's what I would think, man. For me, I'm not gonna lie, Aura was the one if it came to it between Partey and Aura, purely because I'm very much a son of Wenger. He's Arsenal that I've grown up on. I want him, but Partey, like you said, you know, he can pass the ball. Personally, I don't really care for him passing the ball. I just want that composing box-to-box dynamism sort of thing. That's why I want Aura. Like, I hate what we do at Arsenal. I'm not saying you are, in that Partey can pass the ball and they want him to do it, but we look at man whose skill sets aren't that. It's like Torreira. I'm not saying Torreira's passing, especially building out from the back, could it be better? But man are talking about passing. I know the modern day requires a lot, but that's not him. Like, we need to just have specialist roles. And I think Arsenal, because we've had bare man that can play everywhere without necessarily being sick in a position, it's clouded our fans to really appreciate having specialists in a team. Like, we've got midfielders right now. What specialist roles did any of these midfielders have? Like, Xhaka's probably, you know, his one, but if he does it well is another thing. Ceballos, what is he? Joe Willett, best example. What is he, fam? There's bare man.
I keep on saying, you mold all four of our central midfielders together, yeah? Then you might have a perfect midfielder, because Xhaka, okay, he's got the What
He
is
got the
Xhaka?
long pass. He got the long pass. I'll give
He's
it to
got,
him.
he's got the pass. Let's say he's got the pass, yeah. Ceballos has got the technique, yeah. And then he's got the industry and the quickness, the quick passing, yeah. And Willock's got the box to box, more athleticism. You put all four of them together, you might have a good midfielder, you know. But like you said, we've been starved of all-round fullbacks. That's why Tierney coming in has opened our eyes so much. You know, over the years we've been starved of all-round fullbacks, and now Tierney's coming. It's like it's even
Last one was probably about Sagna.
yeah. It's even exposed Bellerin's weakness because it's like, hold on, we like you, Bellerin, but Tierney's coming in and doing a lot more. That's what we need on that side. If we really, you know, same with midfield. You bring in someone like a Partey, it's like, wow, this is what we've been missing this whole time. Someone that can do two of the three skill sets or three of the four. You know, right now we've only got one skill set for each individual, and it's not good enough, fam. It's nowhere
And
near.
some of them midfielders, I don't know what. Like, listen, I love Joe Willock. You know me, I love Hale footballers, and nobody wants me, Joe Willock, to have a future at Arsenal more than me. But there's gonna be a time where his future could go either way because I don't know what Joe is like. The club, Bear Man have played him in that 10 role. I'm judging him as a 10. I think he's box to box, but I don't know what specifically he's good at. I've got a lot of time for El Nene in the sense of I like when a man's given a chance, he replicates it. But if we're real, you can't go too far with El Nene in your starting lineup. And while he's not a bad player, you're struggling to find what he's great at. Xhaka is good, but he needs too much time and space. And the sort of team we want to be in, the sort of team we are in the profile, we're not going to have that. People are going to press. You saw it yesterday. Xhaka's eating alive. To be fair, that was his first bad game in a while, but you can only get so far. Them man there can be squad players. And I want to be wrong, but you can only get so far with these G's. Like, you can't only get so far.
It's going to come back, fam. But if man them think that Luiz is not going to make at least 3 mistakes that lead to goals this year, you're wrong. If man think that Bellerin's not going to make at least 3 more mistakes this year that lead to goals, you're wrong. If you think that if Mustafi doesn't get sold, we're not going to see him play at least 8 games for us throughout all competitions this season.
Yeah, it would be a nice 8, probably more than 8. You know him; he's always the sort of man to get a look in the side and start playing and that.
You know, so I won't forget until I see the back of them or until I see like visible improvements. I won't forget some of the things that they were a part of in the last, 5 years.
You take Tammy Abraham over Lacazette, Christopher's
Nah, man, I can't lie. After Laka, we need to make sure it's someone on point. Like after Laka, because look, Laka might be up for debate at the end of this season, but obviously I'd like to see Oba move up top eventually, Martinelli come in maybe on the left or Martinelli move up maybe. Someone asked earlier, I don't know if it's still there, but something about Saka. I think Saka would be fully on the left wing, but recently, the pockets of space he's been picking up outside just in front of the back four. You see against Liverpool in the Community Shield, he was picking up the ball just in front of the back four and in that number 10 attacking mid position,
And his intelligence is higher than the other young players.
Both key passes in front of the defense, Aubameyang, Ceballos, assist, calm. You get me? So I think Saka has potential as an attacking mid. So that's why I'd say Martinelli up top might be our long-term striker, if not Aubameyang for the next couple of years after Laka moves on, because I think he will move on. Because what are we going to offer him at the end of this season? He's going to be what, 29 at the end of the season?
If he's not 29 already, ain't it been his birthday?
If he scored 20 goals this year, if he doesn't score 20 goals this year, Deluded, do you offer him a new contract?
No, not based on. Do you know what? With him, it depends on what the finances he's seeking. He's probably asking for something that might, I'm not going to say above Aubameyang, but he'd probably want something that's somewhat parity. And I don't think he deserves that. I love his qualities, but he's not of that higher caliber. So we'd have to move him on. And I'm a bit undecided because if you asked me 2 months ago or so, or even before that, if Lacazette goes and whatnot, what would I want? I would scream Aubameyang up front. Let's bring in a winger who's gonna score them goals like a Mane or Salah sort of man. Now I'm thinking, I want another striker, bro, because I see as much as I agree with what you're saying. Just based on what Lacazette brings to the team, I think we need that in the squad. I think we need someone who can hold the ball up. Maybe not rely on them, but we need something like that. And when I look at worldwide football now, there's a real struggle for them plan B number 2s in the same way there's plan B number 2 keepers. Not many people have a great number 2 keeper. We've lost ours. You look at Chelsea, people can draw out Giroud. Giroud dragged these lot into what they had last season. Agarlo wouldn't have went to United if they weren't seeking it. Obviously, Lacazette's ours. You can argue Liverpool with trying to bring in Werner, understand that they need something else. So I'm not sure, bro.
No, I get you, fam. Like, it is true. But with Saka, like you see what you said, I always, not always, but I think Oba up top, Saka on the left, Pepe on the right would have been my.
That's my thing.
It would have been my three, and then you bring in that attacking mid, and then you have a three in the middle and a 4-3-3 formation from there. But Saka has shown me that he can play multiple positions. Someone in there said he needs to toughen up a bit. He's a bit shy, and I think he's tough in terms of physical battles. He tries, but I know what you mean about he's shy. It's like his age shows a lot in terms of he's a bit timid. That's what I'll say about him. He's a bit timid, but that will come with age. That will come with confidence. That will come when he really knows his position too. You know, at the moment he's another utility man for us.
Happy to be in the team, yeah. It's just, and I don't blame him. You're 19. Let's not lose sight of ourselves. You know, regardless where Arsenal is, Saka is in a great position. You know, playing for Arsenal week in, week out. I don't agree with him being timid. I get it, but I think he leads by example. I just think that's his personality. You know, he just seems easygoing. He ain't gonna, you know, he just seems an easy talkable lad. He's not got. I don't want to say not got a big character, but he's not like, you know, like a Callum Hudson-Odoi or you know, our good friend Troops or something like that. He's not one of them sort of guys. So I think,
you know what it is. I wouldn't want to, even with like it's like I wouldn't want to see him go into a challenge with Vidal, for example, or someone like that. You know, I feel right now he's not that sort of player. That forget the challenge. I mean the aftermath where it might be a chest-to-chest thing. You know, he's still a very young boy, isn't he? He's still a very
should be protected, man, and that's why I get annoyed about Arsenal. Car, who's the tug that's going to protect him when it gets mad? I remember we went back to your Walcott.
Yeah, fam. Oh, I don't even say that name, but don't get twisted. He's tough because he will go into the challenges. I don't deny that. I just mean in terms of his stature and the way he carries himself.
He's still a boy in a boy's body, essentially.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Would you sign Zaha? Last two questions. Would you sign Zaha?
Been there, done that. Nah, not anymore, man.
Would you think that's what makes you not be on him anymore? Is it because of Willan? Is it because we got other priorities?
I assume we're gonna move Aubameyang up top more often, yeah. But if we move Aubameyang up top, I'd want to put Saka in the left mid. I think you've given him the number 7 shirt. You've given him the new contract. Yes, he's still young, but if your plan is to move Oba up top or buy a left winger, you've got one ready made, you know. So. For me, it makes sense. A left-footed left winger. You have Pepe as a left-footed right winger cutting in. You have the differential there, and then you have a striker who has banged and who can play off the last man.
Fact. Last question. I'm gonna let you have this. Do you think Samora is a good option if we don't get Partey? Leo,
yeah, I actually do. You know, I actually think it's a good option. If that, you see that last question that asked Jorginho and Partey or Diawara, if they said Samora, well.
I'm on the Samari thing, 100%. I'm on it.
I definitely think it's a good option. But yeah, if it's not Partey, I think Samari is a good option. But I'm going to be vexed because 45 million for Partey is a steal. It's a steal.
And we had a free hit at him also.
And he's been taught by Diego Simeone for years. My man can come in and teach the people around him, fam. You know, so I'd be vexed, but in long term, it could be a very good option.
I think Samora should be an option, Carl. He's contracted until 2022. He's the position we need. You know, Leo, we've got Gabriel and Pepe. They must know how we like to do deals. You'd imagine we could do that one a bit quickly because, like you said, we got to keep people sweet. Leo could sell to anyone, but, you know, Arsenal seem to be one of your prime sellers. So, you know, we'll be back next summer or the summer before after that with the next man. So I think we definitely should get him, man. If not.
Because I said at the beginning of the summer, Decore, Partey, and someone like Aouar. I said 3 midfielders come in, you know, no messing about. I said we need 3 midfielders to come in. I said Partey, Decore, they have 2 completely different skill sets and 2 skill sets we lack in abundance in the middle. And I said, obviously, we need someone creatively. Aouar came out to be the one. People were telling me, you can't buy 3 new midfielders and play them. Carlo Ancelotti said, hold my cup. Here you go, mate. You know, and here we are right now. You know, whole new midfield.
And they're winning games. Shock. That's shock.
Come on. I'm not saying they're going to do a madness, but it's working. You know, it's working.
It's working. Like for me, Samore is completely different to Partey, but it's the fact of
Yeah.
we got dynamism there. That's what we ain't got the modern day midfield. Like I don't think none of these men are poor. It's just they haven't got it. I don't know for covering ground, and statistics might not show that. But when you look at other midfielders, you don't really know what our midfield's about. It don't really appear that we're as dynamic and covering as much ground as the other midfielders. It's like we're struggling to move on from this poetry in motion sort of time. Like it's not that anymore. Football is just an athlete thing now. Like it's fully just being an athlete, bro.
That's why I said I'd take both Samari and Partey. I wouldn't even say it's a whole thing, but obviously I'd be happy with that. Let me not say happy with. I'd be content with at least fucking one new name this fucking window.
That's facts, fam. And that's facts. And with that, you know, I know you got places to go. I'm gonna end this, people. So yeah, man, make sure you're following Turkish. Make sure you're following us. I'm gonna be streaming on the watch along. Turkish, you doing anything?
No, man. No. I might start watching along soon, but fam, I need. Yeah, you lot don't want to see me flipping during games, fam. I'll be flipping 0-0. Like, what's this guy doing there, fam? This is what I mean. But yeah, people don't want to do that. Yeah, it's positivity, isn't it?
Okay, no, but just make sure you check out his content. He's always bringing things out by himself. Good content, good show with rants as well. You know, so if it's not on his channel, it's on Rance's. So yeah, make sure you're across Turkish's stuff, man. But yeah, love for that, my guy, man. Obviously, when we back here, man, we need to be on your channel next time. When you gonna do this again?
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Can we say what are you doing Saturday midday, 1 o'clock?
I think I got football still, but I'll see what happens.
We'll talk after this. We'll talk after this. You're flexible now. I'm flexible. We can sort it out now. We need to just set 2 days, bang, do it.
Yeah, let's make it work, man.
Yeah, people hit the like button before you leave as well, man.
Make sure you hit that like button, people. Come on, man. Come on. On that note, we're out.
Come on, G. Love.